The amendment fails. Any further discussion on the original resolution then?
Please, no.
Yes, Ms. Burbick.
I just have one more question, because I'm hearing all these numbers flying around and I don't have all the background that everybody else has. Are we about to approve an additional $59,000 to save $41,000?
You have to look at the portion of the $59,000 that's going towards the trenching,
I understand.
which is
34, I got that.
$34,000. So we're going to spend $34,000 to save $41 on that element of the project. Correct.
Okay, and the rest is
For the lighting.
frosting on the cake.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Roll call, please, Steve.
Alderman Kelly,
No.
Simpson,
Yes.
Tarazinski,
Yes.
Burdick,
No.
Gallagher,
No.
Reno,
Yes.
Baker.
That's it.
No, but I wanted to,
Okay. Now,
Aldermen can change their votes if they weren't sure about what they just voted on.
yeah. Now
Now's
we
the time to
have
talk about
nothing.
that.
Do we have this clear that this would be a vote, this is on
This is
passage
on the
of whole thing?
resolution to move
On the
with
resolution.
additional engineering design and services of Lincoln Highway and Locust to include the trenches, single trench, as well as include the lighting that was voted
the
in
lighting
favor of in
painting.
the last amendment by declining it.
So with the current score, then everything just got turned down.
Now we have nothing.
Now we have nothing.
Is
that what y'all want?
The new alderman, that's person
That's
that...
why I asked my question before we voted.
Okay.
I guess just for clarification, in all fairness, being the first time, we're spending $34,000, we're going to save $41,000, but we're actually adding another $20,000 in enhancements on top of that? Was that the way it was explained?
It's a $59,000 contract, $34,000 of which is to design the single trenching and single conduit for the utility companies. That $34,000 expense will save us $41,000 in direct expenses as well as limiting disruption of businesses. Okay?
So it's a net saving of $7,000 at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Let me just verbalize one thing. I think that the comfort level for the 4 members on this council that just voted no for this, I think the comfort level would be much higher, and we would approve this if we could get back some information from the utility companies that we've already invested dollars with for them to do their own survey and their own engineering, and I could probably attest to Alderman Keller on this too, so that we could know that there's going to be some type of wash on this before we expend another $60,000 to Hitchcock Design Group to do something that, was prudent in the first place to do with just simply one trench. So if we could run that down, and then in a couple of weeks when we do that, our
I'm
meeting...
afraid we don't have the time for that, because, again, if you want to meet the bid date of end of late March, early April, this design work has to be done now. And it's very tight for us to even meet that timeline, so that we have construction by contractor selection, bid award, and the mobilization of the selected contractor to get this work underway by late May.
And where is
Very
the
tight.
incentive for these utilities to work together anyway? They're not us, we're not them, they're not each other. Where's the incentive? Why would they care to try to minimize our expense by being forward-thinking to get one trench? They don't work together.
That's the good point. I mean, again, we would be the coordinating agency through our engineers to have those utilities do their work within our trench, within our conduit. The alternative is they all do their own thing, on their own schedule, on their own specs. We don't want that.
And that's what I'm hearing by this vote tonight, is that
Yeah,
it
that's
will
what'll
be a
happen.
hodgepodge downtown. It will be more disruption downtown. It will be more detriment to the downtown business owners. And we will not have the ambiance that we have talked about just wanting in the last vote by denying it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really confused up here as to why we can't move forward with a direction here. And it looks like we have, but we're putting a halt to the downtown Locust Street.
Okay.
And if that's what we want to do, you're making that decision tonight. And I think it's a wrong one.
Mr. Baker, who's been complaining ever since I came on this council about all the wrong decisions that have been made by this council in the past, that whoa, if we could have done the right thing at the right time.
We still haven't heard a vote from Mr. Baker.
You said no.
Did you vote no?
I said no, but I'm saying no on the whole project right now. That's where I'm coming from. I think we need to hold off.
Okay, now,
Can I say one thing? I have to.
Go ahead. Identify yourself, please.
Jennifer Gross, I'm the executive director of Renew DeKalb. One of the big components of this that you're voting on is that one trench utility. In experience, and I know Alderman Baker and several others of you are very well aware of what a construction project is like. You can imagine what a 3-block major road tear-up is going to be like to bury overhead utilities. We walk through this extremely carefully with our business owners after contacting our utility companies and talking about 3 trench to 1 trench. It's 3 hands in a little cookie jar. We're now able to go down to, with this concept being presented to you, 1 trench, 1 cookie jar. I can tell you from working on the last 2 years of projects, when you're waiting for utility companies to show up, if they're called off on a storm, if they're called off on any other emergencies, this project takes second tier. Everything sits and waits. And there's our roadway blocked. Our business owners can't move. We don't have that fluidity in transportation. I can tell you when it was presented to us, this was much more reassuring about the timeliness. The schedule that has been created that we have discussed and now worked on is all based on now being able to do that first set of the project on Locust on 1 trench because it allows it to be quicker and smoother in that project. I understand that there may be concerns about other portions of the costs in here, but that element of this is critical in being able to return our use back to Locust Street and to keep our businesses fluid. On the comments of trees and lighting, Lincoln Highway, to be able to daisy chain and run cords across that sidewalk would be incredibly dangerous for us to do that and a big inconvenience. I understand an $8,000 item is not something we anticipated, but looking down the road 10, 20 years from now, being able to have our main thoroughfare, being able to have those tree lights is an element that we very much want to consider. Having those poles painted, it's almost like forgetting a detail of it. We'll have all black poles and we will have these giant yellow poles sitting right in the middle of it. Right, wrong, or indifferent about the cost that you may feel, I think that you should understand the impact of not doing 1 trench and what that may happen to our schedule. And I hope that you will seriously consider what the overall picture is going to look like and be this for our project. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Baker, or I think it was Mr. Keller, earlier you made a motion to take away the cost associated with the tree lighting and the painting, presumably because you thought it was acceptable for the balance of the project, i.e. the design of the 1 trench was appropriate. Now we don't even have that element. I mean, I think we need to at least achieve that.
Well, I understand
All the
that.
benefits.
I understand that. It's unfortunate that my amendment failed, but there's no way I'm going to support $16,000 for repainting street poles when earlier in the same meeting we're talking about potential of having to lay off city workers. I realize they're 2 separate funds, but the recency here, it's not something that we need right now.
No, and I'm acknowledging that, your opinion on that matter, although I disagree with it. You're the decision maker. I acknowledge your opinion on that. But the other element of this work that presumably you did find appropriate, that being the single trenching, that's not even getting approved, let alone the other things. Is that where we want to land?
Mr. Naylor.
I don't know what the appropriate process is really, but I would ask some of the colleagues here that voted in the prevailing nay to possibly reconsider their vote.
Do I hear a motion to reconsider that?
For a reconsideration.
Do you have a motion to reconsider the original resolution?
I'll vote to reconsider for discussion purposes because I don't think we all fully understand why we can't have just
Is that a second,
trench.
Mr. Baker?
No, that was the first, I thought.
I thought, okay, then you seconded Mr. Naylor?
No, you can't say
No,
that.
Naylor's vote.
No, I'm in the
Any
majority,
Anyone can
and I
second.
have the right to reconsider.
Anyone can second.
So I'm willing to reconsider.
And I would second.
Right, okay.
Okay, well then let's just hash this out if it seems to be that important, because I agree that I don't want to end this project through a back door, which apparently just happened, because obviously nobody's going to put up with the extended schedule and the chaos that'll be caused by 3 trenches versus 1. So let's just talk this through. I don't want my no vote to have accomplished what I was trying to accomplish that way. It's not right, not fair, and that's what I'm going to reconsider. I'm not trying to pull a fast one here. What I'm trying to say is, let's go through these numbers again.